It began with a spark, small, unremarkable, in a bakery tucked along Pudding Lane. By dawn, London would be on fire. By week's end, the medieval city would be unrecognizable. This is the story of the Great Fire of London, a catastrophe born of heat, hunger, hysteria, and perhaps a loaf of bread. In the early hours of September 2nd, 1666, the capital of England was still struggling to recover from the devastating plague of the previous year. The city was a warren of narrow streets, thatched roofs, and timber-framed houses. A dry summer had turned it into a tinderbox. At around 1 in the morning, fire broke out in the shop of Thomas Fariner, the king's baker. Whether it was a dropped ember, a tar barrel, or simply neglect, no one knows for sure. Fariner and his family escaped through an upstairs window, but the flames didn't stay behind. Strong easterly winds fanned the blaze westward, down Fish Street Hill and toward the heart of the city. It consumed homes, shops, taverns, and churches with terrifying speed. From his home on Seething Lane, civil servant Samuel Pepys watched with growing concern. He would later write in his diary, "We begin to despair of quenching the fire." He wasn't alone. As the fire intensified, King Charles II and his brother, the Duke of York, rode through the smoke-choked streets to oversee firefighting efforts. Orders were given to create fire breaks by demolishing houses in the fire's path. But too late. The flames were already out of control. For 4 days, the inferno raged. Old St. Paul's Cathedral, which had stood for over 500 years, became an oven. Its lead roof melted, cascading like water into the streets. Nearby warehouses full of oil, tallow, and gunpowder exploded into fireballs. Eyewitnesses spoke of churches vanishing in moments, of mighty flakes of fire leaping across the Thames. Panic gripped the city. Some fled with whatever they could carry: bedding, pets, barrels of ale. Others blamed foreign agents and conspirators. A Dutch baker was nearly lynched. A Swedish envoy narrowly escaped being hanged. Amid the chaos, conspiracy theories flourished. Catholics, the French, the Dutch. Any outsider became suspect. In the frightened imagination of the city, the fire wasn't accidental. It was war, or divine punishment, or both. A French watchmaker named Robert Hubert confessed to starting the fire on behalf of the Pope. He claimed he had thrown a fireball into the bakery. His story fell apart under questioning. He hadn't even arrived in London until 2 days after the fire began. But the city needed a scapegoat. Hubert was tried, convicted, and publicly executed. Few believed he was guilty. Fewer cared. By the morning of September 6th, the wind died down. Fire breaks finally held. The blaze burned itself out. The toll was staggering. Over 4/5 of the city within the old Roman walls had been destroyed. 13,200 houses, 87 churches, and 44 company halls. Miraculously, only a handful of deaths were officially recorded, though the true number is likely far higher. And yet, from the ashes rose a new London. In the aftermath, architect Christopher Wren was commissioned to rebuild the city. His vision transformed the skyline with Baroque beauty, most notably the new St. Paul's Cathedral. New regulations banned timber construction and mandated the use of brick and stone. Wren even proposed a modern grid system of boulevards and squares, though cost and politics ultimately blocked most of that plan. Still, London had changed. The fire spurred the birth of organized fire brigades and the development of fire insurance, first offered by the Phoenix Company in 1680. The city's vulnerability had been exposed, and steps were taken, however slowly, to address it. But some scars lingered longer. At the base of the monument to the Great Fire, erected by Wren near Pudding Lane, an inscription blamed the popish frenzy for the disaster. That anti-Catholic line remained in place until 1830, a chilling reminder of how fear can outlast even flames. Other cities would burn: Chicago in 1871, Lisbon in 1755, but the Great Fire of London remains unique, a moment when rumor outpaced reason, when wood and wind shaped destiny, and when a city learned too late the price of inaction, all from a single spark. If you liked what you watched, please like and subscribe. We post interesting and crazy stories from throughout history every Wednesday and Saturday. Yesterday's craziness, because yesterday was crazy too.